Hey there, folks. Imagine waking up one morning and feeling that stiff, achy hip loosen up just enough to let you stroll through the park or chase after the grandkids without wincing. Sounds pretty great, right? If you're over 50 and dealing with hip joint issues that make everyday life a bit tougher, like that inflammation from arthritis that's been sneaking up on you, stick around. Today, I'm sharing 3 easy chair-based exercises that could change how you feel, all backed by solid advice from experts. These aren't just random tips. They're practical moves tailored for busy American lifestyles, whether you're winding down after a long day at the office or relaxing in your living room. Let's dive in and see how a few minutes a day can make a real difference, trust me. You won't want to miss the game-changing advice coming up after we cover the basics. The 3 chair exercises for hip relief. All right, let's get right to it. Grab a sturdy chair like the one at your kitchen table or in your den and make sure it's on a non-slip surface. Sit tall with your feet flat on the floor, shoulders relaxed, and back straight. We'll do each exercise for 10 to 15 repetitions per side, or as many as feels comfortable. Start slow, breathe steadily, and stop if anything hurts sharply. Remember, the goal is gentle movement to reduce that inflammation over time. First up, the seated knee lift. This one targets your hip flexors and helps build strength around the joint. From your seated position, keep one foot planted firmly on the ground. Slowly lift the other knee toward your chest as high as you can without leaning back. Think of marching in place, but nice and controlled. Hold for a second at the top, then lower it back down smoothly. Alternate legs. It's like giving your hips a little wake-up call, promoting better blood flow to ease swelling. Next, try the seated leg spread. This exercise works on your outer hip muscles, which support stability and can reduce pressure on the inflamed joint. Sit with your knees together and feet flat. Gently slide one foot out to the side, opening your knee away from the center while keeping your upper body steady. You should feel a mild stretch in your inner thigh and hip. Bring it back in slowly, then switch sides. It's perfect for countering that tightness that builds up from sitting too long, like during those long drives or TV marathons. Finally, the seated hip stretch. This is great for loosening up the front of your hip, where inflammation often hides. Scoot to the edge of your chair for this one. Extend one leg straight out in front of you. Heel on the floor, toes pointing up. Lean forward slightly from your hips until you feel a gentle pull. Keep your back straight to avoid strain. Hold for 20 to 30 seconds, then switch legs. It's a subtle move, but it can really help release built-up tension, making activities like climbing stairs or gardening feel less daunting. Expert tips, real-life advice, and why this works for your daily routine. Now that we've got those exercises down, let's talk about making them a seamless part of your life and why they can truly help dial down that hip inflammation. I've chatted with plenty of folks in their 50s and beyond who swear by routines like this, and from my own observations, it's all about consistency mixed with smart tweaks. For instance, if you're like many Americans juggling family obligations or remote work, squeeze these in during commercial breaks while watching your favorite shows on Netflix or during halftime of the big game. It only takes 10 minutes, but the payoff is huge. Let's back this up with some solid facts for transparency. According to the Arthritis Foundation, low-impact exercises like these seated moves strengthen the muscles around your hips, which takes pressure off the joint and reduces inflammation. A study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association supports this, showing that regular gentle exercise can decrease pain by up to 25% in people with hip osteoarthritis by improving joint lubrication and blood circulation. Mayo Clinic experts echo that, noting how activities that boost flexibility and strength like our knee lifts and stretches help combat stiffness without overloading the body. In one review from the Cochrane database, participants who did similar chair-based routines reported better mobility and less daily discomfort after just 8 to 12 weeks. But here's a personal angle. I've seen a close friend, a retired teacher in his 60s, transform his mornings with habits like these. He used to groan getting out of bed due to hip flare-ups, probably from years of standing in classrooms. Adding a warm-up, like marching in his chair while sipping coffee, not only eased the pain but also boosted his energy for yard work. A practical tip? Pair it with heat therapy. Pop a warm compress on your hip for 10 minutes before starting. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows heat increases blood flow, making exercises more effective and reducing post-movement soreness. Speaking of soreness, it's normal to feel a bit at first, but that's your muscles waking up. To keep things safe, always consult your doctor before ramping up, especially if you've had hip surgery or other conditions. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recommends starting with 2 to 3 sessions a week, building to daily as you get stronger. And for those everyday American challenges, like long car rides on road trips to visit family, try modifying. Do mini versions while stopped at rest areas to prevent stiffness from setting in. Want to amp it up? Incorporate breathing techniques. Inhale deeply as you lift, exhale on the release. This not only oxygenates your muscles, but, per a study in the Annals of Internal Medicine, can lower stress hormones that sometimes worsen inflammation. Nutrition plays a role too. The American College of Rheumatology suggests anti-inflammatory foods like salmon or walnuts to complement your routine. I've found that snacking on berries after exercising helps recovery. They're packed with antioxidants that fight joint swelling, as backed by Harvard Health Publishing. If balance is an issue, which is common as we age, use armrests for support during the leg spread. And for motivation, track your progress in a simple journal. Note how far you can lift that knee after a week. Evidence from the British Journal of Sports Medicine indicates tracking leads to better adherence and results. Oh, and don't forget hydration. Dehydration can make joints feel worse, so keep a water bottle handy, especially in drier climates like the Midwest or Southwest. Extending beyond the chair, once you're comfortable, blend these with walks around the block. Short bursts align with guidelines from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services for 150 minutes of moderate activity weekly. A tip from my experience: set reminders on your phone during busy seasons, like holidays, to avoid skipping. Studies in arthritis care and research show consistent movers experience 30% less pain flare-ups. For variety, alternate days with light yoga poses, but stick to seated ones if standing hurts. The Journal of Alternative and Complementary Medicine highlights how chair yoga, similar to our exercises, improved function in older adults with arthritis by 20 to 30% in trials. If pain persists, pair with over-the-counter options like ibuprofen, but always check with your pharmacist. Transparency here. I'm not a doctor, just sharing what's worked for many. In real life, think about how this fits your routine. After dinner, instead of scrolling endlessly, do a quick set while chatting with your spouse. It builds not just physical strength, but that sense of accomplishment. From what I've gathered, people who make it social, maybe inviting a neighbor to join virtually, stick with it longer, per social psychology research and health psychology review. To ensure accuracy, let's circle back to sources. The exercises draw from recommendations by physical therapists at institutions like Johns Hopkins, where seated routines are proven to enhance range of motion without risk. A meta-analysis in the Lancet Rheumatology confirms low-impact strength training reduces hip inflammation markers by improving synovial fluid flow. One more gem: mind your posture daily. Slouching at your desk or while driving can aggravate hips, so adjust your chair height. Ergonomics experts at the Occupational Safety and Health Administration advise knees at 90 degrees for optimal joint health. I've personally adjusted my home office setup this way, and it made a noticeable difference in comfort. Wrapping up the advice, remember progression is key. Start with 5 reps if 10 feels much, and celebrate small wins like bending easier to tie shoes. If you're dealing with weight, which affects hips, as per CDC data linking obesity to worse arthritis, these exercises burn calories gently too. There you have it: 3 straightforward chair exercises, plus a toolbox of tips to help tame that hip inflammation and fit seamlessly into your American lifestyle. By incorporating these, you're not just easing pain, you're reclaiming the freedom to enjoy retirement hobbies, family outings, or even that weekend golf game. Give them a try consistently, and you might be surprised at how much better you feel. Now, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What's your experience with hip issues? Has arthritis been a challenge, or do you have a success story to share? Tell us about your health journey. And if there's a specific condition or treatment you'd like us to cover next, like knee pain remedies or back strengthening tips, let us know. Your input helps shape what we create. So share your thoughts openly. What's worked for you? Or what questions do you have? Hit that like button if this resonated, subscribe for more helpful content, and share this with a friend who might need it. Let's keep the conversation going. Your perspective could inspire someone else today.